Welcome back. For my chess study today, I'm going to go through this master game between Jennifer Yu and Yu and Krush. This is from the recent US Chess Championship 2022. Jennifer Yu ended up winning the chess championship. This is not the game that she won with, though. And the reason I chose this one is because this was their regular classical game during the tournament. We interrupt this video to bring you a correction. I was mistaken. The game I studied in this video was actually one of the tiebreak rapid games played at the end of the tournament. I don't know how I got the games mixed up. Possibly it's because these tournament games are difficult to find online. Either way, I apologize. And I just wanted to look at a regular classical game of chess, so this is from the normal tournament. If you're new here, I'm not a titled player, I'm not a chess coach, I'm just a random person trying to get better at chess. So feel free to follow along, maybe you'll learn something or be mildly entertained. Let's take a look at this game. Okay, one of the reasons I chose this one is not just because Jennifer Yu ended up winning the championship this year, the Women's Chess Championship, but because she opened with d4. I try to study master games that have openings similar to mine. Krush played knight to f6, which is normal, and here I normally play knight to f3, putting some protection on these squares, and then play c4 later, but it looks like most master level games, they play c4 right away. So maybe I need to transition into that, learn those openings better. Krush responds with the Benoni, which I see very rarely, where the opponent plays c5 before moving either one of their center pawns, and I never remember what to do here. Okay, it's the Stockfish, which you should be able to see just below me, says to just push the d-pawn forward. All right, so the d-pawn should just be pushed forward. I see that. You'd be protecting it here, but then I don't know what you would do if they played e6. Is that what, that is what Jennifer Yu played? Okay, and if I understand it, I don't know very much about these titled chess players like Gotham Chess and Daniel Naroditsky or whoever. They know all these people's names and how old they are and what city they're from or what country they were born in. I don't know that much. I've just heard that both of these women have won the US Women's Chess Championship in the past. And I believe that Jennifer Yu is very young, still a teenager. So it's fascinating to me when both boys and girls get really good at chess when they're really young. And I sometimes have that regret that, you know, when I was that age, maybe I should have studied a little harder at chess, but I didn't, and there's nothing we can do about that. I'm noticing that the best moves listed for black are not what Krush played here. Krush played e5, which gives white a +1 advantage according to Stockfish. And I'm wondering though, wouldn't you just take it with en passant? No. Okay. See, I probably would, but it says that the best move for white is actually knight to c3, which I guess would protect e4 in case that pawn tried to push forward. Also part of normal development at this point in the game. Okay, or g3 or h3. There's an annotation here that you can't quite see, but it says Krush got a good position after surprising you with the Benoni in their classical game. So she goes back to it. But what? Okay, what do you mean she goes back to it? This is their classical game. I'm not going to look at the annotations anymore because that's confusing. Okay, she played knight to c3, which was the top engine move, and then d6. That makes sense. Get this big pawn center, but it looks like white still has a +4 advantage, and I'm trying to figure out why. I guess it's because this pawn is wedged so strongly or firmly in the center of the board. Both players have the same amount of development. White actually has less development of these normal pieces you want to develop near your king. It says e4 is the best move now, which is what I would have been tempted to play, but Jennifer played g3, which takes away a little bit of advantage. But I also understand if you're a fianchettoing person, if you understand the reasons for fianchettoing and you're used to it, that probably makes sense. I am not. I only do this when I don't have a choice. When I have run out of other places to put my bishops. I can't get the bishop out the normal way. But if Jennifer Yu is not used to fianchettoing her bishop, then that makes sense. Okay, and she still has a +1 advantage. So since she didn't play e4, does black play it now? The engine says that is black's top move, is to play e4. Because you only have the one defender on that square, so you wouldn't take the pawn with your knight. But that's not what Krush played. She played g6, which was one of her top moves, and she apparently is comfortable People don't play these openings at the top level unless they've looked at them with an engine already. So she knows that Stockfish says white has the plus 1.3 advantage here. At least that's my understanding. I certainly wouldn't play against a grandmaster unless I was playing an opening I was very familiar with out to a certain point. And my understanding is that she knows she has that disadvantage at this point. But again, just like Jennifer, she's probably very familiar with fianchettoing the bishop, so she's just going to go about her business. Or it's part of the normal Benoni opening. I haven't studied the Benoni. I'm not sure. Okay, and again, it says Jennifer Yu should play e4. Did she do that? No, she fianchettoed. Okay. And now she fianchettos. They're both preparing to castle, but white is a move behind when it comes to castling kingside. Okay, but now she plays e4, because now she has a second defender on that square. So I can understand why she delayed it. Surely she studied the position too. I'm curious as to why she delayed e4 until putting this here, but she probably had a reason. Okay, so Irina castles f3. Look at that. Stockfish says f3 is white's best move here, or h3 is the second. Interesting. She plays the third best move, which is taking the knight out this way, which I guess makes sense if you've already used your bishop here to defend this pawn as an extra defender. Maybe the reason you want the bishop on that pawn is because you plan on moving this knight at some point. If so, that would make sense. And then knight to a6. I see that recommended by Stockfish an awful lot, but I don't ever play it because it seems really weird. And when you're taught opening principles and basic chess ideas, one of the things you learn is that you don't put the knights on the edge of the board because they're weaker there. But look at this. Her top two moves are knight to h5 and knight to a6, according to Stockfish. That's what Stockfish would do right now. Now, I've noticed over the years since we've had Stockfish and these other chess computers that a lot more people are playing h4 early and h5 early if you're black, because Stockfish started recommending those. So I'm wondering if in a few years we're not going to start seeing a lot more knight to the edge moves out of the opening, just because Stockfish recommends it so often. I can see titled players, grandmasters, or any serious chess students starting to notice how often Stockfish recommends those, and they're going to follow out those lines and try to figure out, why would you want your knight on, get rid of that arrow, why would you want your knight here? It can't go anywhere from there, can it? Except back. It gets out of the way of the bishop, but it can't go here, right? And you're not going to want it to go there, are you? So I don't know, but somebody's going to follow that out one of these days. But Irina plays a normal move, knight to d7, or knight b to d7. That makes a lot more sense from a human perspective. The knight has more squares it can get to from here. It protects that knight. It adds protection to these two pawns. And if you ever bring this rook over, the knight can jump back in there and help defend the h7 square. And here too, for that matter. Okay, castles. I see, I just guessed that Jennifer Yu was going to castle here, even though Stockfish says h3 is best. Oh, Stockfish has changed its mind. a4 is best. That's what I'm talking about. You keep seeing these suggestions to move the flank pawns by Stockfish, just like we saw the knights to the edge moves, which old chess teaching says those aren't good. Okay, that's interesting. But yes, Jennifer Yu castles here. Okay, that makes sense to me. I've never been in this position as black, so I don't know what Irina would do here, but I don't know that I would have done that. Doesn't that just trap your rook? Not that the rook is in danger. Nobody's coming for the rook right now, but where's your knight going to go from there? Over this way? Here, I guess? If you wanted to put a knight on a6, you could have just moved this other knight to a6, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't understand that move. Maybe it's... No, you wouldn't want to put your queen on any of those squares. I was going to say maybe it's getting out of the way of the queen, but no. Okay, so I don't understand that move. Okay, now Jennifer Yu plays h3, even though it wasn't recommended by Stockfish, but a turn ago it said that was the best move, or one of the two best moves. Oh, I know why she got the knight out of the way. Okay. Because I think I saw a video by somebody much more knowledgeable in chess than I am recently about like King's Indian type positions, I think is the phrase they used, where you want to play f5 at some point, f4 or f6 or f5, but f5, hopefully. The knight was in the way of that. So that could explain why she moved the knight, because she plays f5 here. Okay, now I do understand that. Bishop to e3. Okay, I was just looking at Stockfish's suggestion. I don't know that I would put my bishop on e3 right now. I know you want to develop this bishop because it hasn't done anything yet, but I don't think that does anything, does it? But that's what Stockfish says the best move is. And now we're down to plus 0.5 for Jennifer Yu. And she plays a4 is the next best move. That's not what she played. Queen to e1 is the third best move. But she plays f4, which takes the evaluation to 0.0. Very interesting. I don't know what her idea was with e4. I mean, with f4. Okay, and look at the Stockfish again. Again, I've moved it down here just below me, but it says to put this... No, not that knight. Not that knight. It says to put this knight on f6 now. That's what Stockfish wants for Irina. But she instead plays this knight over here. Okay. Well, I thought the only reason she put it there in the first place was to get rid of this, to get out of the way of that pawn. So I don't understand why you wouldn't want to put it back now to help put pressure on these. I don't know. But she went that way with it. Is she trying to come this way? Or is she now getting out of the way of the rook or the queen? Maybe that's what it was. Okay. It's difficult because in my own games, I can almost always look back at my own game and see that I moved a piece and guess why I moved it. I can look around the board and say, oh, I must have moved this piece in order to do this. But on master level games, I have a really hard time guessing why they made that move. Maybe she was just waiting. I don't know. B3 is what Stockfish is saying. Okay, that makes sense to develop a pawn chain there. EX5. E captures F5 is Stockfish's second suggestion. And we're back at +1 now, according to the engine. Or A4. Yeah, Stockfish really likes pushing the A and H pawns, contrary to all standard chess teaching. Okay, see, Jennifer Yu plays this now. A move ago, just 1 or 2 moves ago, that was the best move, but I didn't understand it, but apparently she did. But she wanted to do it after she put the F-pawn up there. I can see why you wouldn't want to put it here, because that gives the queen fewer options. So I guess that makes sense if you're going to move this bishop off the back rank to go there. But if you had played b4, which was the computer's top choice, then you could have put the bishop on b2. But maybe she thought that was too slow. Okay, now Irina plays her top move, which is taking that pawn, and bishop takes is the best response from Jennifer. She just moved it there. Maybe that was a waiting move. If she expected this and then she's gonna take back with it. Maybe here this was just waiting. I don't know, but she does take back with it, which that piece isn't defended, right? Nothing's defending that pawn. Stockfish says knight to e5. Okay, that would block the bishop's attack on that pawn. That makes sense. And that is what Irina plays. Okay. So now Stockfish says b3. Because this knight's not really threatening anything coming in, is it? No, it's just blocking the bishop from getting to the d pawn. But the knight's not threatening. Oh. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, so b3 makes sense then. Is that what? Yes, that's what Jennifer Yu plays. Okay. I probably would have messed up there and done something silly like take this pawn. But she played the best move. Okay, and they're very close to even here. I don't know what I would play if I were playing with the black pieces, but I think I would be tempted to develop this bishop finally to free the rook, or maybe build a pawn chain of my own. And looking at Stockfish, though, it's saying no, it's saying don't be a wimp and do that. Just go ahead and throw it all the way out there. G5 even. Oh my. Stockfish wants to play G5. Look at that. Because the queen protects that square. And that would drive the bishop back, I guess. I don't know how far back. What did I... Irina played what I would have played. Okay. See, little moments like that actually help me a lot emotionally in my chess journey. When I'm trying to guess what a grandmaster would have played, and I'm looking at Stockfish's suggestions and trying to figure them out, and then the grandmaster, which is she a grandmaster? I actually don't see the titles here. Both of them are titled, I just don't know what their exact titles are. But when a titled player, an international master, a women's grandmaster, whatever it is, plays the move that I would have played, ignoring Stockfish, that tells me that at least they think like me or I think like them in some instances. I don't know what I would play if I were white here. It says to go ahead and take that pawn. And I said a turn ago I would be tempted to do that. Or a4. Yeah, Stockfish really like an a4 over and over, keeps suggesting that. Or rook to c1. Not sure about that. I have no idea what I would have played here, but okay, I understand this. Jennifer, you played queen to d2. I do often play my queen to get on the same diagonal as this bishop, especially if black has the bishop down there fianchettoed, because I like to go over here, and if they take, which they almost never do, but if they do, then I end up with my queen right there, which can come in pretty handy in a lot of situations. And if they don't take, then you can either take them and their king has to move taking back, which kind of wins a tempo. Sometimes in that situation, they'll slide their bishop back. But she plays the best move. Irina played Stockfish's best move here was b5. And again, it wants her to take this pawn. Did she take it? Oh no, or bishop to g5. Because you've lined up your queen with your bishop. It makes sense to put the bishop here. That, I guess, wins a tempo on the queen. The queen would have to slide out of the way. But taking the pawn, oh, now it's changed its mind. Taking the pawn is the third best move. But they're all minus 0.3. So that's what Jennifer Yu does. And Irina takes back like she's supposed to. And now, again, bishop to g5. That just seems like a one-move threat. So I'm surprised that Stockfish is suggesting it. Or rook a to b1. Jennifer Yu plays the third best move, which is taking the b pawn. Irina takes back. I really don't know what I would play here if I were white. It is white's turn. Might just take the knight. I don't know. But then that puts a bishop here. That's not good because our rook is at the other end of that. But yeah, that's probably what I would have played. Well, she doesn't play any of the top three moves, although Stockfish is still shuffling them there for a while. She plays rook a to e1, and that gives black a slight advantage. To take advantage of that, no, queen to a5 is the top engine move. Right now, Stockfish might change its mind again, or capturing this knight, but Irina plays queen to f6 and takes it back to zeros. I'm not sure, what does that accomplish? Doesn't that just give Jennifer another chance to play bishop to g5? Oh, wait. Okay, I think maybe I understand that you have a bishop and a queen and a knight all lined up here. So maybe I understand queen to f6 now, and I understand why Jennifer Yu wouldn't play the bishop to f5 move here, or g5, I mean. She plays the top engine move, which is knight to d1. But top engine move. I don't like that, though, because it feels like my rooks are really trapped here. Doesn't it? Neither one of them can move left or right. The one on the e-file can't move at all. This one can only go here and here, and you certainly don't want to go there right now. That seems bad. Okay, what does... One of the top moves is what Irina plays. We're still close to even. King to h1. I see those moves a lot in Stockfish too when I'm evaluating my games, when I'm analyzing. After I won or lost, a lot of times it'll say, oh, right now your best move is just to move your king over. Nobody's near threatening your king. Nobody's close. There's no reason. Nobody's even on that diagonal. Nobody's pointing at this from anywhere. But yeah, sometimes it'll say that. Just move your king over. I mean, I guess there is a check here, but that doesn't seem advisable. That's one of the top two moves. She doesn't play any of those top three, but goes here, but it still remains at zeros. I assume that knight needs to go someplace, probably to the middle. Nice outpost square here, but aren't we going to have a knight trade now? Yes, we are going to have a knight trade now. Okay. I guessed that. This looks frustrating for both players. I mean, because your bishop can't do anything right now because that pawn's in the way. And the same thing is true for these diagonal moving pieces with that front pawn. But the front pawn can move when it needs to. It's the back pawn that can't move. Okay. So maybe it's more frustrating for white than it is for black. Because for black, that back pawn is guarding the knight right now and providing a little shelter for this bishop to kind of peek around on both sides. And the front pawn can move, be protected by the knight. Knight to b2 is her best move right now. Is that what she played? No, she played the next one, which is just as good. It says knight to f2. Oh, maybe looking to prevent that. Okay, I understand that. Undefended pawn, so going after it, I get that. Stockfish says knight to g4. What? Why would you put your knight on g4? I apologize for any long pauses. Maybe I will remove those in editing. I often do. But why would you want to put your knight on g4? I don't understand. But that's what Stockfish would be fine with that. But the next best move is what she played, which is knight to d3. That surprises me. I thought she'd put this knight here to A, get it out of the way of these rooks, and B, to prevent this pawn from coming down. But instead, she's going there now to immediately challenge the knight, which is well protected, and I guess to blockade that pawn. But you've still left this pawn hanging. But Irina's best move is to move that rook back over here. And she did it. Wow. Okay. King to h1. You see that, right? Right down there. King to h1. Or rook to c1, taking control of the open file. Wait, go back one, though. Right here, I get why you would do that, but you know you've left this hanging. What I don't get is why you wouldn't do this. Why wouldn't she take, and how bad would that be? Would it be bad? I'm just going to play this just to see. Oh, +2. And then she would be able to take this now, but then wouldn't you take back? Sure. And then, oh, it says you would take back with the bishop. Oh, because your rook is guarding that. Okay. And then you would just move the queen over. And then you would take, and white has a +2 advantage, despite material being even. Okay. Well, I'm going to get out of that variation and go back here, but yeah, I don't understand why that gives white such a bigger advantage, but the only move that maintains the equality, I should say, was that, and Irina played it. But I guess because this needed more defense. And king to h1 again, or rook to c1. Okay. She played that. Rook a to b8. Stockfish still wants to point at this pawn because Jennifer's not defending it. Stockfish has changed its mind. Queen to d8, rook a to c8, or rook e to c8. But that's what she played. Okay. Going after this pawn again to c7. Oh, no, that's not c7. That's c7. Okay, well, that makes sense then. Getting your rook on the 7th and maybe following with this one. Okay, and that's what Jennifer, you played. Wow. And again, Stockfish wants queen to d8 or queen to f7. Well, because you have to protect the bishop, right? But Irina protected the bishop that way. Very interesting. So, yeah. Remember when I said that would be the next move? But she didn't play that. Why didn't she play it? Jennifer, you played that instead. I guess looking to protect this pawn, but now that rook can't get over there. Bishop to a6 is best now for Irina to point at this rook, which can't go where it needs to go right now, and reconnects her two rooks. But Irina didn't find that. She played rook to b4 instead. Interesting. I guess just blockading this pawn. And okay, going back. This didn't just protect that pawn. It got out of the way of the queen attacking that pawn, the front d pawn of black. Okay. So I do understand rook to b4. Even though Stockfish wasn't really fond of it, it makes sense on the human level that you would want to defend this pawn, which is now under attack. Wow, Stockfish says, just move your king over here. Okay, well, I'm not a computer, and there's a reason for that. Okay, or rook to a7? Oh, I guess to go after that pawn? No, but she didn't do that. She lined up here, they're back to even. Now this time Irina did find queen to d8 because this rook is kind of stuck down here. You put this knight on c1 so you can't protect with your other rook. How does she protect it? Stockfish says protect it by putting it over here, or here. Wait, what? That's c6, right? Wouldn't the knight... No, the knight probably wouldn't take it then because of maybe that. No, but then you still lost your rook for a knight. What did she play? Oh, she brought it all the way back. Okay. And Stockfish says, no, not that bishop, this bishop. Oh, by the time I found the right square, it had changed its mind again. Bishop to b7, targeting this pawn, maybe, or d3. You already went through the trouble of putting this rook down here to defend this pawn, but now Stockfish wants to push it forward, even though you have multiple pieces that can take it. Wait, maybe not. Okay, I get that. It's threatening the rook. If you take with the knight, and they take back with the knight, and you take your knight, then black has that. Okay, so I get d3. She finally plays bishop to a6. Stockfish suggested that 2 or 3 turns ago, but now the rook's not even here. What? And now Jennifer Yu plays king to h2, which was one of the top 2 moves. Oh my. Yeah, somebody's going to have to explain those to me, because again, it wasn't even on a diagonal that was endangered, was it? Or maybe was this bishop going to try to, or maybe the queen was going to come over here. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe the queen was going to come over here. And that was one of the reasons to push d3. Maybe. I don't know. But I do know that the king was exposed to that diagonal. So that makes sense now that I thought about it. Not earlier, all those times when it said h2 or h1, but now it makes sense to me. Okay, and Jennifer Yu played, no, sorry, it's Irena's turn. She did play that, but that's a blunder. What? Going back. Yeah, 0-0. And that gives Jennifer +7? Wait, I thought Irena won this game. The one during the tournament, the classical game. But it's only a blunder. It's only a +7 blunder if Jennifer Yu plays rook to c6 right there. I guess you're threatening the pawn and the bishop because the queen's going to move out of the way. We don't know where the queen's going to go, but it can't defend both of them. Okay, so Jennifer, you should have played this. And if the queen goes here to defend the pawn, then you win the bishop. But if the queen goes here to, what if the queen goes here to defend the bishop? Then what do you do? Oh, then you take the pawn. Okay, so yeah, I can't defend both of them. Oh my. But Jennifer, you didn't find that. The second best move is to go ahead and take here, and you're still +2. Or bishop to g5 is +1. But instead, she moved her queen over to... Now, I don't get that, because now you're going to play d3, right? Okay. I will probably never play Jennifer Yu, and if I ever did, I would probably get soundly defeated. Just to be clear. But I would have seen this. Irena's queen is defended, but yours isn't. So if that d-pawn moves, you basically have to take their queen. They can take back, and then this pawn is still here threatening this rook. I don't know, but Irena found it. d3. Oh, she plays bishop to d3. Okay, well now you have to move your queen, I assume, and she moves it back 1 to stay protecting the rook. But this is still hanging, so you have to move your rook now, right? Okay, oh, and you move it here. Okay, so she got out of it. So why is it still -1? It's -1 because of queen to f7? Or queen to d7? Well, Irena found the second one of those. Wait, what? Go back. Look at that. Stockfish says queen to d7 is -1. -1.0. But after she plays it, look at Stockfish. It's only 0.3. Stockfish couldn't see one extra move ahead. Okay, that's interesting. Bishop to f4. Bishop to f1. Or bishop to b6. Targeting that pawn, maybe? Okay, did she... Oh, she found one of those. You see it? That's what Stockfish says. -1 if she just moves her king over. But Irena played rook all the way back, which takes it to even again. Okay, now the bishop's supposed to take the knight now. Jennifer Yu finds it. And I assume take back with the pawn. Yes, that's what Stockfish says. But okay, the bishop's not that bad either. And then now take this pawn, right? With your knight? Yes. I'm getting some of these things, and it's really close to even. I don't know. There's no timestamps here, so I have no idea how close they were to the end of the game. But this is move 35, which is before they get the bonus time, right? So they must have been very tense at this point. And rook takes, okay. That makes sense. King to... That's what Stockfish is suggesting, and that's what Irina played. I'm going to have to look into these king moves. Is there a website somewhere that says when to move your king to h8 or h2, or just when it's not being threatened? That's like a level of study that I haven't seen yet, except I keep seeing those moves listed in Stockfish. And that's our best move now. I'm not sure why. That's what she played. Okay, I get staying on the third rank. I understand that because you continue to defend this pawn. Okay, and I also see that you've lined up with your queen. Okay. And the only thing defending Black's F pawn is their queen. Okay, that makes sense to me. If I'd had, 5 minutes or whatever they take to figure out each of these moves, I might have found that. Because it makes sense to me. Okay, rook to g8 is Black's best move, but she played, wait. Oh no, it said rook to f8 was her best move, and g8 is what she played. Interesting. e5, wait. You see, I'm not reading this wrong. I know I read the squares wrong all the time, but Stockfish is saying to take here? No, that's f5. It's saying to take here. What? And that's what she played. Oh my, how does that? The pawn takes back. And then take that one. I don't know. I don't understand why the other one was the best move. You gave up a rook for a bishop. And then she needs to play queen to g7 now. But instead she took that pawn. What? Plus 70? Plus 71? Is what Stockfish says. If she'll play rook to f7, which she did. Wait, again, I thought Irina won this game. What happened? Queen to d6. Bishop to e4. Mate in 19. Mate in 17. Mate in 9. If you play queen to f7. But instead she played the rook back, so now it's only plus 11. Rook to f8 check again. Are they going to repeat? No. Plays there. Okay, she did play it this time. It's mate in 8. Has to take. Oh, now it's mate in 1. What? Did I look at the wrong game? I thought Irina won their classical game. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, I've spent enough time on this. That's like 40 minutes, and I think I understood a lot of those moves clearly. If you stuck with me this long, I mean, good for you. But clearly, I didn't understand some of them. But I think I understood some of them. Some of them I understood as soon as I saw them. Others, it took me a little while to figure out. And that's the reason I go through these games, because I'm going to be in similar positions sometimes because I play d4 openings. So congratulations to Jennifer Yu for winning the championship. But yeah, I must have chosen the wrong game, because I'm positive that she lost her classical game to Irina Krush in this tournament. So I think what I must have chosen by accident was the first rapid game that they played. I don't know how to find out for sure. But anyway, she found it. You saw that she missed queen to f7 a few times there, but then she found it at the end. So good for her. Good for her. All right. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.